Hi my friends, I am here to show you this morning real quick my 2026 prayer journal, and I'm going to say I had a conversation in one of my previous videos in the comments with someone who asked me to show my process. And I've recorded this video a couple of times, and I get stuck in edits. I ramble. Well, I cannot talk and glue at the same time. I cannot talk and think and punch paper at the same time. So what happens is I had an 1.5 hour long video, and then I've had it ready for about, 3 weeks. And I get stuck in the edits because I get too precious, and I'm like, so I used to make videos for a company that I worked for, a contractor, and I did before, during, after project videos. And so I'd have the music and it would swell to a point, and then I'd have a, transition that matched. And so now I'm finding trying to edit these videos is getting in the way of actually getting the information to you, or sharing my message with you that I feel led to share, because I'm getting all precious about the editing. So I'm going to try it a couple more times and try to be very more succinct with shorter ones, and maybe build my skill set, because I don't want to edit videos. I want to just, one of my things is like, what if I edit out something God's leading me to say? I've said it because it's in my heart and it's in my thoughts, and then I second guess myself afterwards during edits. I know that it's a thing. Anyway, so I apologize that I did not do that. I did do it, but I'm going to just show you the aftermath and not the process, because like I said, it was a mess. There's minutes of me just sorting through papers and randomly saying this, that. It's too much, and nobody wants to see that chaos. But I'll talk about it as I flip through this, okay? And I will work on that process. I will continue to try, but it didn't work for this one. So I did kind of change plans. I went with, I had a notebook I was going to use, but I decided that I want to try some new things. First of all, I'm going to do a Bible study. I want to read the Bible in a year, and I want to do some studies. I want to start verse mapping. I've never done that before, and I will do my very first one on camera, and you guys can see how it goes. That'll be the next video I record, but I want to have space in a notebook that I can take papers in and out and add papers and things. And what I found was just having a plain notebook wasn't going to cut it. So I went, since I'd already bought a notebook for that, I didn't want to spend money again on another notebook, because that seemed very wasteful. And so what I did was I went through my collection of old Happy Planner. I'm a scavenger. I collect everything. When I've been doing Happy Planner for probably 10 plus years, because let's see, I've lived here 10 years and I did it before here. So probably like 12 years. And what I would do at the end of the year is I take the cover and the ring, I cannibalize it before I got rid of like the papers where I scribbled, my doctor's appointments on. I got rid of that stuff. I'd shred that, but because I didn't do any memory keeping in it or anything like that. But I keep the stuff that I could to recycle to use again. So I ended up with a collection of bits and bobs. And so I have a couple of bins of those bits and bobs that I pulled out, and I put this together from it. So this is just a cover from something I had from years ago. These are rings that I have, a jar of rings that so I'm telling you this to say, use what you have. If you want, there's nothing wrong with you don't have to go out and buy something. There's nothing wrong with using what you have. So I do add, and I think I've mentioned it multiple times, I add a pocket to the front cover of every journal, everything I use, because it's just handy. I did pull out of that other book. I did like the tracker in the book I used last year. So I did, and I want to continue this till it's all filled up. So it was lucky. It was just signatures, and I was able to cut it right out just by pulling the string really taut. A signature is how things are inserted into books. If you don't know, they go in like this in the binding, and if you pull, a lot of times you can see the string. If it's a well-made book, or actually if it's a cheaply made book and they don't glue it, which is my favorite. So I was able to pull this out and keep it intact. And I'm going to just keep it right here as I continue to read the book, read the whole Bible. And don't judge me. Like, I know this looks bad, but I only started keeping track this year. And I've read through some of these, read bits and bobs of it, but as I complete with notes and digest something, that's when it's getting blocked out. So yeah, anyways. I do make a lot of my own inserts with lamination. I just have simple lamination pouches. I don't have a machine. You can buy all kinds of lamination pouches from like Staples. They have a whole aisle, and this is a pretty flimsy one, but I also have some really sturdy ones that I've cut up, and you can cut it. You can even cut it, the laminations in half if you're not going to use the whole thing, or you can do multiple laminations at one time. I like to cut it because then I don't feel pressure to find something else to laminate right now. But I made this. It's like got a little dashboard on the back. You don't have to have stuff on both pages when you laminate, because having a blank place to just deposit post-it notes is kind of nice. This is just a study map on how to really break down a verse. And I liked it. I found it online somewhere, so I took a snip of it and I printed it and I put it in my Bible or my study book as a note. These are some verses that I want to map out that have stood out to me. I actually went online and I did some research on how to, can you see that? I hope you can see that. What are the steps of verse mapping? So this is all in preparation for doing my first one. So I have it all in the front here because, and I'm showing this to you to show how versatile having something you can pop stuff in and out of. And a 3-ring notebook, I considered using that too, would work great. But having something you can pop stuff in and out of is handy, because this is what I'm going to do next. So I've made a table of contents, and I made the pages and then the names of the notes. So if I want to refer to notes later, like I may just put, if I'm doing a Bible study, or if I'm just putting like Genesis, right, or something like that. These are I found people talking about different notes that they take, because I've been studying how to study the Bible. And so anything to make it difficult or more complicated. But I found all these different ways to diagram, make lists, outline of a book, reflections, resources, script writing, sermon notes. You can do the SOAP process, but I found something else. There's a different kind of note taking, and it's in here. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's in here. You can do boards, which, like, you can do a character. I don't like the word character because it makes it sound like it's a fiction book, but like a person in the Bible, if you take that person and you just do a study on them, there's a lot of different kinds of notes. I was pretty amazed at what I found out there. And I made a list of it because I thought, well, you can do so much more and then what I have been doing, and you don't have to follow all I've been doing is the SOAP. And frankly, the SOAP, it's like eating my vegetables. Like, I did it, and now I want to do something more. I want to get more creative with it, to be deeper, because I hadn't even really thought about, I guess, what SOAP is, other than, scripture, observation, application, prayer, like that. And I hadn't even looked up what those words really, like what that really means. I just kind of did it. And so now I want to get into deeper and more in tune of it. I want to get into, I'm going to secure this because it's coming loose and because I didn't tape it down, which I should have. I know better. But I wanted to get deeper in my study. I want to really, I feel like, you know, as Christians, we start really kind of, I think we start with that acceptance of God, and then we just, the need for Him, the hunger for Him just grows and grows and grows. And so you just want to fill it in some really substantial ways. And I'm feeling that now. I'm feeling like I want more out of my Bible time. I don't want to just read it. I really want to consume it. I want it to change me. And so in order to do that, I have to break the verses down so that the verses can break me down. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what I came to. And so that's why I built this a little different than I initially planned after some prayer and thoughtfulness into it. I just have a pile of Post-it notes here that I took from my other book that I haven't done anything with. These are recommendations. People have said, hey, watch this, watch that. A verse, I don't even know, like just commentary people have recommended, books people have recommended, services online that people have recommended. So I throw all that here so that I don't forget it, and then I can look at it later. Actually, honestly, if I want to say that correctly, I had these scattered all over the place, and I collected them here as I created this book. So now I can digest it and whatnot. I always keep like an empty pouch because you never know what you want to tuck in. And I was doing a study. Oh, my dogs. Yay. See, I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to leave that right in there. Hey guys, calm down. It's okay. But this was a study I did on depression. It had some key verses, and I wrote them down, wanted to hold into them, but it's not a sticky note or anything. It's just a loose flap of paper. So I needed a place to put it, kind of like this, just to store it for the moment. This was, I was collecting reading challenges for my every 4 to 5 years. I do a reading journal every year, and I filled up my journal, and so it was time to do a new one. When I do a new one, I collect some bits and bobs to make different pages. I have a video for that in another video, but because it's not really Bible related. However, I did find this sticker, which I was so surprised and I was so excited, but it's Passion Week, a reading timeline, kind of like a devotional time, and I collected it and I laminated it, and this lamination is a little thicker. I don't know if you can hear the difference, but it's a little stiffer. So like when I was saying, you can laminate anything you don't need a lamination machine. You just go down Staples has so many is it Staples or Office Depot, whatever. They're one and the same. There's so many, they have a whole aisle of different kinds of sizes, stuff, and you really just peel and stick and then trim. And I punch holes in it. So you can laminate anything without having a lamination machine or paying to have it laminated, which is a beautiful thing. I just keep a pouch handy in my stash, and I don't laminate all the time, but when I want to, I have just something to grab and do it. So I wanted to keep this because I wanted to do it more than once, and that's for come Easter time. And I left the back. I decorated a little at the top and bottom, but left it as a dashboard because, yeah, I always like a place to put Post-it notes. And here I made a list of the videos I want to make, sharing with you. So the inductive method, that was the other Bible study besides the SOAP method. So these are notes, right? Just general notes about doing Bible studies, and then I'll get into the actual section of Bible study. So I just needed a place to put notes I've collected, as you can see. This inductive method is pretty incredible, and I came across this. Somebody did a video on it, and then I enjoyed their video so much that I went and did more research, and I made a list of how to do it. And this is an amazing thing. If you get a chance, look it up. Inductive method of Bible study, where you pray, you read something for the first time, and then you read something again, and then you look for specific things, like look for who, what, when, how, why. And you ask these questions, who, what, when, how, why, over and over again. But then you compare it, and you look, is it law, poetry, whatever. So, and then you talk about what the author meant. And then you, so this is where like observation and like the SOAP method, I wasn't getting it, because apply is more about, you don't just apply to your life. You ask questions. You ask the how, what, when, where, why again, and you then you be transformed and take what you have learned, and you ask the how, what, when, what, why again in that context. Anyways, I'm just like really breezing through this, so it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Look it up. There's a step pitfalls to watch for, then accountability. There's just, it's so much more in depth than. It's a deeper walk than just scripture, observation, application, pray. But I have that in here too, because sometimes that's all you have time for, right? Then I have my Armor of God sheet, which I took out my prayer Bible or my prayer journal, because it really isn't about prayer. Fruits of the Spirit, just notes in general about God. So this is where my Bible studies actually are going to be. I have a notebook, bookmark, that I made. Okay, like it said, be the light or something. It's some plastic. I added the word pray with just some stickers, alpha stickers. So you can do whatever, like I said, turn whatever you have into what you have. If you have to write it out, I don't enjoy my handwriting, so I try to I collect alpha stickers, so that I even cut up other stickers to spell new words, so whatever you're going to do it. It's your book, right? So, and then I just filled it with a bunch of pages. Then I did have this, I do have these pages that are practice scriptural disciplines that came out of a notebook I had purchased, I think when Joann's was going out of business. And I put it in the back because I think it's nice. It's got sections, and then it's got like rejoicing in, opportunity to serve, like it's like a snapshot of your day, whatever. It's not Bible study, but I just put it back here as a place to have easy access to it. I also created this. This was a packaging for something, and I needed a place to put Bible studies I have printed off. Peace in the Storm, Removing Bitterness from Your Life. And this is why I had originally thought a 3-ring binder would work. But I didn't want something that bulky. And frankly, I have all this, and I would have had to buy a 3-ring binder. And 3-ring binder paper, whereas I had all this paper in my stash. So I just went this route. And what I decided to do was I made this. It's kind of weird. It's like a pocket, but it's actually super deep because it was packaging for something. And I decided to cut it up and punch it. Like, you can make anything out of anything, guys. That's my point. And then I have a place to tuck different Bible studies that I've printed off into. Then the back, I had this stencil, and I thought this stencil would be handy to have, especially for at my disposal. Can you see it? I think you can see it. It's a basic one, right, with just a banner, some check boxes. But the thing I really wanted was these squares. I want to be able to just draw a nice tidy square, because the verse mapping does use a lot of squares. So I thought, just having this here, why not? It's handy. In fact, you know what? I don't even want it in the back. I do think I want it in the front, because then I'll be prompted to use it and grab it, know where it is, because I am a big believer in having what you need for what you're working on right all together. Like, I think I did mention in my It's the same concept as this pen pouch, right? In my Bible study tote, I have red pen whiteout, little teeny scissors, pens, all the colors of the highlighter that I use in my Bible, just whatever I might need. You know, in here, I even have a roll of washi so I can tape things down, because I don't want to stop what I'm doing and go look for a tool. I want it all right here at my fingertips so I don't have to interrupt my process or my time with God. Anyways, so this is it. This is my prayer journal for 2026, maybe beyond, because really using something like this, you don't have to replace it. You can just pull it out. Like if I were to fill all this up in 6 months, I would not have to go out and get another one. I can just take it out and add more paper, and I could put it, you know, just clip it together and put it on my shelf for safekeeping, put it in a storage area where I can get to it and reference it. I could even take the table of contents out, right, and put it on top and clip it all together and put it on a shelf in a safe place with my other Bible reference stuff, so that I could use it again later if I wanted it, but then I could just keep going and not have to buy another binder. So that's half and half. I mean, there's something to be said about keeping these together, but if I come to that, and that would be a good problem to have, right? If I fill all this up with God's word, that's a good problem to have, is needing more space for God's word, right? So I hope this has been helpful to you. I know it's not. Somebody did ask me to show my process, and I know I tried, guys. But I think this is a shorter video for sure, and I'm hoping that it is more helpful than watching me go this or that, this or that. Like, you don't even know. Picking curtains for me is a huge decision. So isn't it funny that I think of that as a easier task than putting a Bible journal together? But anything that I have to choose it's a process for me. So watching me do it here was just not going to be fun for anybody. But like I said, I will try some live videos. I will definitely video my first verse mapping, and I'm hoping that maybe we can get to a point where we're all doing it together. Okay, guys, have a blessed day in this blessed season we're in. Bye.